welcome back to my channel. As you can see today, we're going to be talking about my Albo and just a couple different things I'm planning on doing with her. First and foremost, she's getting beautiful and luscious. There's a lot of new leaves that came out from my last video. Something exciting happened. I had a friend that was wanting a piece of her, so I did a little snip. I cut off a leaf that was back here that had another leaf growing out of it. And I'm not worried about it because since I still have a node here, there is going to be a plant that's going to grow out of this. And it's happened multiple times. It's not a guessing game. For sure, there will be another leaf that grows out of that node. But as for the plant, I only have 3 current growth points, and I want to make it like 5 or 6. So what I did today was I bought a cutting. I could have always cut a little bit more from my plant and just rooted it and then put it into the plant, make it bigger. It's a lot cheaper than buying another cutting, but I did get a good deal for this cutting. So I am going to put this in here. Like I said, so this cutting is just one node. So this is going to keep growing up. These 3 leaves are from one node, so they just continue to grow up from the previous leaf. I want to make this 2 nodes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut in between 2 separate nodes that are kind of growing up and make it into 2 plants. So I can plant her in here and make her fuller, bigger, and more luscious. I'm going to move my baby to the side because she's doing great. I just want her to be a little bit bigger, a little more full, so that when she continues to grow up, she grows in abundance. Let's see. I bought this from a lady on Facebook. Hers are, very beautiful leaves, a lot of variegation, and this is an Albo, remember, a lot of variegation. Now I do have to take her out of this leca. They do want, people say that to give a plant time to adapt. Yes, that is true, but the lady I bought it from, she wasn't using any humidifiers, she wasn't doing all the extra things, which I'm not either. So it's a good transition. Now, if you go from, if you buy a plant from somebody that has a greenhouse, super humid, they have a certain schedule for everything, then I would, yes, let it acclimate to the temperature of your house and just make sure it's comfortable. And you can definitely tell a difference really quick if it's not comfortable. But for me, her and I had similar situation when it comes to housing the plants and how we take care of them. So it'll be fine. I'm just going to take out this plant as nice as possible so I don't rip her. And this has a lot of water in it. Let me go dump this water. Now there is a different doing with her propagations. So with the difference between what she was doing with her propagation and the way I propagate, obviously there's many methods to propagating. She used leca. I don't use leca because I'm not very familiar with it, and I'm not sure. I don't want to trial and error. So I just put it in water. I make sure with my, if you go back to my first propagation of this Albo plant, you'll see how I propagated with it, and by cutting it, callousing it over, and then dipping the bottom part in wax so that it seals it while I sit it in water and wait for it to root. That's the way I like to do it. But some people use leca and it works because it's very rooted and it looks like it's in great condition. So I'm not really worried about it. But yeah, so that's going to be a little bit of a difference in what's going on between what I'm usually doing and what she did. So these leca balls, I'm just going to pour them out. Okay, so I'm pouring out all the leca. I can tell, I do like to change the water when I am propagating. I can definitely tell that this water hasn't been changed in a long time, just due to the amount of moss that you see in here. It's almost like a mossy algae. I don't like to get that green mossy algae just in case it's bad for the plant. There's bacteria that can appear in it, so I don't like that. But the plant has rooted extremely well, so I'm not upset. Ooh, see, look. So this shows that there were dead roots, or that almost like a very wet roots. So I'm just gonna take all this dead stuff off. I'm not gonna shock the roots by wetting them or washing them off. I'm gonna keep them how they are. No scrubbing, no extra stuff. She has a lot of roots going on. The goal is to, I'm hoping, oh, okay. So normally I would have to wait until this plant, once I cut it, I would have to wait for it to grow roots. But thankfully with these two nodes, because, let me show you. Just like this is a node right here, this main stem, main node, this also is a node. And this is one of the aerial roots that can also, if I put it in soil, goes into root form. So I can plant both of these right now. Okay, so for this, I'm just gonna go ahead, make sure your shears are sanitized, put antibacterial, make sure you get like some hydrogen peroxide or just rubbing alcohol to sanitize them. But these are mine. I got them for about $12 at one of my local nursery. I just like them because they're handy. I am gonna cut directly in the middle between these two nodes. This one actually has a node here and a node here, and I'm also cutting from this. Okay. Clean cut. Now you can see this one plant has all the roots. This one that has the two plants has one aerial root. This aerial root grows roots extremely fast. So this one I can place directly in dirt. This one I also can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let these end pieces that I just snipped apart, I'm gonna let these callus over, and I would give that about an hour or 2 hours for that to callus over. And that's just going to reduce the risk of any rotting to the plant. Okay, so we are back. We have our two calloused over new nodes. This one obviously has a lot of roots. This is enough because I know how these albos grow. This aroid root, or whatever it's called, this grows multiple roots like this did. These were aerial roots, and there we go. These were aerial roots, and they grew a bunch of roots. This is what this is gonna do, but since it's about 2 inches long, this will be perfect, and I can just plant it right in. Now, the hardest part is figuring out where I wanna plant this. This one has a lot more roots, so this is gonna be a little harder to get in the soil. I may have to take it all out and put it back in, but I'm hoping that's not the case, but it may be. So, I think I'm trying to see where I want to plant some stuff. I think I'm gonna put this one in the back. We're gonna, you know what? Let's take her out of her self-watering pot. So this plant is in a self-watering pot currently. I love it. It's working. Very helpful for everything, all things. Of course, I'm gonna want one somewhere in the front. I'm still not sure yet if it's gonna be the smaller, the one with more. Because if I plant it, it's probably gonna be covered by this one, and this one's still a new leaf. Actually, I do like it. It looks a lot more full. Let's do that. We're gonna plant that one in the front. Or we have the option planting this one in the front. But I do have to remember that with these, since this one has, this one obviously was another different cutting and this one was chopped from that. Another growth point is gonna go somewhere down here. But it's gonna take a few months before that comes out. So I'm trying to think, do I want this one here and the other one in the back? Okay, so now that you can see my plant, I'm going to be planting this bigger one right in here. The fact that it's so hard to get out of this is blowing my mind. So I'm going to squish it a little bit. I know I'm going to break a couple roots off the side because they're trying to grow in through the sides. Okay. Whoop, there we go. Oh my gosh. I don't hope you can see this. Very unexpected. I was not only that, the roots grew through the string. Oh no. Okay. They grew with the string. Let's place you down here. This is crazy. It's okay. I'm not worried. It'll be fine. Just a few roots. It has obviously a lot it can sacrifice. I'm gonna put this back in here before I repot it and forget about it. Okay, I just put the string back in there for the piece of yarn. This is awesome because I wasn't expecting it to be so much going on, but okay. So I'm just gonna loosen this. Because I'm gonna replant. Okay. Wow. This is exciting. Okay, so I'm gonna repot some of the dirt on the bottom of the pot so it can still keep growing. Hopefully I'm doing it where you can see. And now I'm just going to place this back in here. As delicate as possible, making sure all the roots, oh God, all the roots get inside. Now I'm gonna take this leaf, I'm gonna pot it in here, which I may have to get this up again and place it more so like this because she has a lot going on. Okay, and this is my front where I dug this hole for this new one, which has a new leaf on it. I'm gonna use my dirt. I'm gonna dig into it, and there we go. Okay, so here's what she's looking like. I love it. I'm so excited. She now has, I'm gonna tell you the growing points now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She now has 5 growth points, or 5, yeah, growth points. And she is looking great. So these two are 2 of the new leaves from that one cutting. And then you got the one in the back, this one. And then also this is gonna fill in right here once this starts growing out. So here she is. This is what she looks like. I am going to give you a little tour of her. But thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned till the end to see the little tour.